Hey, good morning, Balance Nation. I got a fun one for you this morning. I got a fun one. This one is going to be a riot, okay? So, these aren't the funnest things in the world for me to do, but I do kind of get that they have to happen, so I make them fun. And as Balance Protocol movement grows, there are going to be people who are going to ultimately reveal themselves in such a way that they want to bite off the style of Balance Protocol. And you guys have known I've talked about previous people who, from what I felt and the preponderance of the evidence, lacked integrity. And so I've talked about that before. Because one of the big things that's really important to me is, listen, we all lie. I'm a liar. I've told lies. I've stolen. So I'm a thief, right? I've cheated on some tests. I'm a cheater, all right? So I'm not trying to play the morality drums here, but I just want to show some things that just are really unsettling for me and things that I experience in the course of doing what I do for those that I can have some effect upon. So anyways, without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to the Catfish of Balance Nation. Okay, so let me kind of set this up a little bit. So back last year, had this one fellow reach out and was basically uh, seemingly kind of supportive and intrigued. But when I looked at his profile on Facebook, I saw a lot of hallmarks, a lot of things that come into play in the basis of my experience that indicate things. I'm kind of famous for saying that things equal things, right? So it's just the way it is. And I've talked about that in other videos about, judging. So I have a very critical eye and I judge everyone and everything. And I expect to have that same litmus applied to me. All right. So without further ado, the thing is there was this guy and he was in basically interacting in Balance Nation, and then kind of went off the rails and acted like a real jerk. And so I didn't engage because I don't typically do that. My dad called it picking up the brick. He said, "Son, when people start arguing and acting like that, don't pick up the brick." I said, "What does that mean, Dad?" He says, "Well, when you pick up the brick, you put it in front of you. And then if you keep picking up enough bricks, you build a wall between the two of you, and you'll never even communicate in the first place. So don't pick up the brick." So I tend to not pick up the brick in a lot of areas, but I also have well established that I'm not afraid to fight the good fight and to stand up for truth. And so, anyways, this guy ended up saying some things that he realized were inappropriate. And so I was like, okay. And then, of course, one of my patients engaged with him offline on a private message and basically acted the same way. And so at first, I thought it was done and over with, but I guess not. So let me just show you. Okay. This is a gentleman by the name of Dev Anand, however you pronounce that, I guess. And the thing about it is this guy was on my friends list for a while and was in Balance Nation. But, we kind of had a falling out because he was saying some stuff. So what ends up happening is he ended up coming to me and said, "Hey, Beck, I owe you an apology. I deleted the post because I thought it was negative and wrong. It was a mistake. I was such a prick. Shame on me. I'm not sure if you've already canceled our call," because he had booked a call to inquire about training in the Balance Protocol preceptorship program. And the upshot is that he basically apologized, right? And he was trying to justification. He said again, he's sorry. He had to deal with an immature 24-year-old son of a bee and believed I learned my lesson now. And I just said, "Hey, I appreciate you saying that. I did understand where it was coming from. I simply am of a different caliber of professional to do what I call picking up the brick. It was pretty prickish, and it takes a good man to realize when what he was doing, an even better man to admit and apologize. As you will notice, I kept my response professional and I didn't cancel our call. I'm not emotionally driven and I'm highly analytical and always first seek to understand. This is why I am no salesman of my methods in a classical sense. This is because I don't accept anyone or truly give all this kind of fun stuff. So anyways, and then he goes, yeah, it was a behavior I noticed that I had with other people too, and I knew I had to fix it. Guess I was good happening because it was final kick in the butt for me to change. And then he goes on to say, and so, a couple of weeks later, I never responded back to him after the apology. And he goes, I guess I'm done in Balance Nation. Nobody respects my opinion and beliefs. And Ron, he can talk about him. And you want me out. I was just here to learn. I get it's a marketing playground to get clients. So nice little passive aggressive stick on me there. You're the one I appreciated. You're the only one I appreciated your advice and knowledge. Okay, so that's the background story. Why does this come into play? Well, because what I want to do is show you guys how this particular individual, basically before I was launching Balance Protocol Prime and Enviro on the new platform, it was on the original balanceprotocol.com, but there were some glitches because, that's just the way growth happens when you're putting things out there. And so anyways, there was a glitch to where this guy got in on the back end and was taking Enviro program modules before it was even launched. In other words, he wheels it in some type of back end glitch, if you will. Okay, and so the thing about that is it comes down to I caught it because I was like, how is anybody being a subscriber or anything of that nature? Okay. And so the upshot is I kept deleting him and somehow it kept repopulating because I guess server backups and stuff. So the guy was just really doing some nefarious active trying to get in on the program. Then when I ported over to it's called a subdomain, which is programs.balanceprotocol.com, his information came over, his login in there, been very active. You can take a look at URLs and geotags and stuff. Anyways, long story short, what I wanted to show you though is I caught the alter ego of this guy, right? And it is this supposed chick right here, right? So just here recently, she had posted she's having a hard time logging in to the Balance Protocol Prime. Hi, Anthony. Because I had said, well, send me the email associated with your login. And it said the address is this, Jess Pattison, 150798. Now this just, and anytime you see a big number at the end of somebody's email address, you can suspect that it's a fake email. And so my reply was, nice try. I know who you are and you are cold busted. That is why you can't log in. So anyways, and then I went to bed. So it was 11 o'clock. So the answer was, man, chill out. What did I do wrong? Well, if you look at somebody like this profile here of Jess Pattinson, okay, this totally looks like a fake photo. It's ridiculously fake, right? Says that, studied at Columbia University, went to Arlington High School, New York, lives in New York City, and from Cincinnati, Indiana, okay? So if you look at the profile here, no friends, those are blocked, and not active posting. I mean, this type of individual should at least have some self-gratuitous selfies of herself. Anyways, so you go through here and you see all the posts were on the same day, right? 26, 26, 26, 26, 26, 26. So this is obviously someone who was just trying to fill out a timeline to make a fake profile. Does that make sense? So all the same ones there. But then you go like this, well, July 1st, 2011. And then here's September 5, 06. So it looks like the person's been on here for that long. But one of the things that people don't realize, especially these catfishers, is this little clock right there. If you hover over that, look at that. So this post, even though it was showing September 5, 06, is actually added Friday the 25th at 11:24. Same thing for this one. Okay, so this is a completely fake profile. So if any of you guys have this Jess Pattinson as a friend, know that it is actually Dev Anand, who is in Australia, supposedly. Okay, this guy. Now, how do I know that? Well, let me show you this. Okay, so you see that? This is the back end registration that I screenshot prior to dumping his butt out of Prime and Enviro. And look at there, Jess Pattinson, the alter ego, right? And then look at the email address down here at the bottom, right? You see that? devanand15 at hotmail.com. That is DEVANAND 15 at hotmail.com. So how is it that a Jess Pattinson could just magically have the same email address as this guy, right? So he's cold busted, totally busted. That's his alter ego. It's this guy. Okay, so here's one of the things. Let's take a look and see. So I got 22 mutual friends with this guy, and if you guys see your face on here, I apologize, but I don't know how to block that out. So this is what the guy says. Look at this. He tries to even sound like me.
Just because someone's drinking celery juice doesn't mean you should be drinking celery juice. Just because, someone's eating, granola for breakfast doesn't mean that you should be eating that, So it's all dependent on context. Context is one of those big words that is really missing out there because, most of the blogs, websites, gurus, they told you things and told you what's healthy and they did, just because.
Okay, so he's trying to use my context moniker, my trademark, and he's starting some feel optimal community. I mean, look at this guy. Who's going to take this dude seriously who wears a hat like this?
Anyone telling you that you must eat this specific diet or that you must take this specific supplement without knowing your context, without knowing you as an individual and your current health status, and they have, they're just saying this based on your diagnosis, are all full of crap. In fact, I'm going to tell you that they're all full of shit.
So he's even trying to use my bullshit moniker, right? So then, this was a guy who, if you keep going through here, tons of these videos. I mean, it's like, look at this. I want you to finally get rid of your chronic illness once and for all. Reverse aging and so forth and so on. Join Feel Optimal community today, right?
And they're all guilty of is being dogmatic. Anybody online talking about diet, basically the one thing that they all share in common and they're all guilty of is being dogmatic. Being dogmatic about specific foods that are bad. Everybody's going to have their opinion about what are bad foods and what are good foods.
So then he's using my third moniker, dogmatic. This cat right here. Okay, Dev Anand. Okay, and who's going to take someone like this, serious, who wears their hat kicked to the whatever side that is?
What's up, guys? I just did a Facebook Live about the silent disease that you have that nobody else is talking about or knows about. Check it out in my Facebook group called Feel Optimal Community. That's right. It will blow your mind.
I mean, what a freaking fake and phony.
Would it be okay if I told you the secrets and the truths behind chronic disease and how to finally heal? How to resolve chronic disease once and for all so you don't have it anymore? Then head over to the Facebook group, my Facebook group called Feel Optimal Community. See you there, guys.
Okay. So basically, I made a thing about, celery juice being, BS and being a hoax. And then he does that. So literally this guy's like biting off of every single thing that I do. So he's trying to just basically get in and, steal my crap as far as I can tell.
Hey guys, living the full optimal lifestyle.
Listen, this ain't TikTok. We don't make these kind of videos don't resonate with anybody. I mean, yeah, the fingers up sign, hat backwards. I mean, who would actually even be this guy's client? Okay. So anyways, back in the day, I'm going to show you that here. So your functional medicine doctor, he starts beating up on those guys like I have on the functional medicine docs. And his niche was thyroid. His whole thing was thyroid, right? So he starts talking about the pitfalls of functional medicine, all these things on his stuff. Literally, he just went and just copied everything that I have said and is basically repurposing, the things that I say in my posts and stuff like that. So anyways, the upshot here, guys, is I just want to show you that I busted a catfish. So some dude down in Australia. Now, this Jess Pattinson also registered again and used another email. But guess what? She puts that she's in Australia, right? So she actually puts that, she is in, let's be specific. I'll tell you, I won't show you my back end. 15 Root Drive, Pennant Hills, NSW, Australia, 2120. Okay, I'll show you this real quick. Okay, boom. All right. So this is the Jess Pattinson, and this is the new email address, but that's in Australia. But here's the thing, though. Jess Pattinson, I thought you were in New York. See? I thought you was in New York. All right, so either way, okay, there's just no way. I try to give people an out, but based upon what I'm seeing here, guys, it's absolutely ridiculous. So the upshot is that this Jess Pattinson didn't like my answers and was like, are you going to respond or not? Let's resolve the issues you seem to accuse me of and let's move on. You are making me stressed and anxious here, honestly. What do you want from me? Or what do you want me to do? Why am I cold busted? This is getting painful, not knowing exactly what I'm being accused of. I really want to buy the Enviro program. I've already gone through Prime. I just wanted to go back and review some of the things in Prime. Right? Well, of course you did, Dev. What you're trying to do is scam people and you're trying to freaking, catfish. So guess what, Balance Nation? Totally busted. And that's just the way you can expect people to be. So be careful. That's the precautionary tale. Be mindful of these kind of things. I'm going to tag this Jess Pattinson. You can even go into Balance Nation and look up Dev and look and see the posts that were in the past. I left them all there on purpose. This Jess, same kind of thing. So this is a fake profile, clearly cold busted. If any of you guys are friends with Jess Pattinson or Dev, you can stay friends with who you want to do. I'm not telling you what to do, but it would make sense to me to remember this image of this individual and know that this cat is basically biting off of Dr. Anthony G.B. style and holding himself out to be. So most of the time, these people have multiple fake profiles. So I'm sure after seeing all this, he ain't going to go away, but that's fine. I've got security measures and stuff in place. So it'll just be one of those kind of things. We can expect these kind of folks to present themselves more as Balance Protocol movement continues. So I know that he just so happens to be friends with 22 people on my friends list. So I will let them all know and send them a link to this YouTube video. So there you have it, guys. Catfish, busted. Trying to steal my style. Trying to use my vernacular of calling people dogmatic, which is true. And, context and all the other fun things. So anyways. All right, guys. So let's see here. If anybody, I'm going to go to Balance Nation, answer any questions here real quick. Once I show you guys this stuff, see what anybody's got. Let's see here. Kaboom. Oh, the fun of live stream. The fun of live stream. You might also catch me spreading the BP gospel, but I'll give you credit. Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, guys. Spread the BP gospel. That's the thing. You guys can invite people into Prime. It's going to be out there. You're gonna always remember that you saw it here first. This is my original work, and it is what it is. But it's terrible. I mean, the only way to stop them, okay, is to call them out prima facie. Just spot on doing it, okay? You can see this is not, one of those kind of things where, it's optimal to go after these folks, but at the end of the day, it's just people have to know this kind of stuff. This adds to the noise and confusion. There's all kinds of frauds out there, and my attorneys have cautioned me of, referring to people as frauds. So I'm listening because my legal team is, of course, in the group. And so I will work on that. But in other words, these people are dishonest from the evidence that I have presented before me. And you guys can make your own determinations. So, yeah. Hey, Rob, bluelightdiet.com. At least it picked a pretty looking girl. You know, I bet you could actually grab that photo and Google it and find out who the actual person it is. Um, he wants to steal all your information and regurgitate it. Problem is, he can never solve people's issues. He's just like everyone else out there. That's true, Ron. And Ron, I've said your name in the video, so hopefully that's okay because I know that you had told me that you had a conversation with him, and you know it's crazy, man. I know this guy bad egg. And yeah, so he can use all the vernacular. So that is the precautionary tale and the reason why I did this, guys. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to take balance protocol precepts and tenets, okay? And what they're going to do is they're going to make that the new shtick. So I would just ask that all of you guys who have been with me for over 25 years, who are on Facebook with me and all this kind of stuff, patience, and all my preceptees, people train with me, help me protect the brand. It is a brand. And you know, it's a big movement, and you guys are a part of it. And call things out as they are. I just ask people just give credit where credit's due. As I learn something, or I say, hey, listen, I learned this from this person. This came from that. I always do my best to give credit where credit is due. I'm successful and blessed beyond measure, so I'm not really worried about it. But at the end of the day, I think truth and a person's character, your character. I've always said my character is my most valuable possession, and I'll never forsake it. It's just not for anybody, you know. All right, guys, I got to get on. I've got to train some of my preceptees today, and I've got to work on some other cool content that's coming out that'll expand in the Enviro program. And the other cool thing is pretty soon you guys are going to have a neat little treat to watch me do another home build. So you guys can see how and what you can do if you're building a home with, say, like a track builder. In other words, these homes that are not fully custom, you get to, it's semi-custom, but what can you do when certain situations preclude you from being able to do exactly what you want because you're at the mercy of the builder and local codes and stuff like that. So I'm going to be filming and putting that out, guys, because I'm building another house. Now, it's not going to be the Balance Protocol certified house, which is coming in a couple of years. That's a big, huge project. I just spilled the beans. You guys it's going to blow your mind. So what I'm going to be doing is teaching everybody out there how to do a Balance Protocol certified home, not a smart home, but an intelligent home, and exactly how you can protect yourself from EMFs, the correct lighting, water systems, everything. It's going to be an amazing build. More on that later. But in the interim, I'm going to be building a smaller home through a track builder for the purposes of showing you guys how to do it the right way until you can actually have full control of your own build. So I'm actually working on a bunch of that in the background today. So it's pretty awesome. All right, Balance Nation, share this with everybody you know. Let them know that integrity and character matters. Don't get catfished. Call out these phonies and fakes and people with poor character who make bad decisions. I forgive them. I move on. But at the end of the day, you got to protect yourself from these, type of folks. And, you guys understand that this is my own opinion, and you guys can make your own determinations from what I presented, and always do your due diligence to fact check everything presented by me or in Balance Nation. So love you guys. I'll catch you on the flip. And remember, keep living life in balance.